What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fantasy Sports Now. My computer is still broken, but that's okay. I'm still getting you guys some content. If you want to hit me with a sympathy sub for my PC, feel free. Every time I get a sub or a comment, guys, it makes my day, and it makes me want to keep doing content. So let me know what you think. And until then, I can actually show you my MLB World Series predictions thanks to this bit of software that I found. I think this is mostly supposed to be for like youth baseball kind of a thing. But I think it can work for our purposes, and it's something I can show you. If you want to kind of know how I've gotten to my final teams here, go back to the channel and check out like the predictions for the playoff teams. I think it was more of like a review of the standings, the projected standings, but a lot of my thoughts are really deep into how these playoff teams came about. And just for our purposes now, this is essentially the NL, and this is essentially the AL. Usually you have one of them over here. It's usually the NL and the AL's over here, and they kind of match in the middle, but that's just not how this is set up. So these are the wild card teams for the National League. This is the American League wild card team. So I have the Toronto Blue Jays beating out Oakland and the Angels, and so that's pretty interesting. I have Chicago White Sox winning the division in the Central over the Twins, though I still have the Twins in the wild card game. And up here, I have the Dodgers winning the division and the Padres coming in second to get that wild card spot. I have the Mets winning the division with the Braves coming into the other wild card spot, and the Cardinals I actually have beating the Cubs and Milwaukee this year to make this divisional spot. And this is kind of why I don't like the way the wild card is set up, is because St. Louis is guaranteed to have an actual series when I think that these two teams are going to be far superior during the season, especially the Padres. So that's really unfortunate in how this is set up, but it's always been that way, so we have to kind of live with it. So let's just dive right in here. So the National League wild card game, it's going to be probably Soroka versus Yu Darvish. I think I can actually go in here and essentially put who I think is going to win, and I think who's going to win will be the San Diego Padres. Hopefully this, yeah, there you go. So that's my prediction here. So we're going to have quite the matchup, the little rivalry right here. I think that's destined to happen here. Coming over here, see, I initially had the Blue Jays, but all these injuries are really starting to hurt me and starting to hurt my predictions. But I'm going to stick with it because the Twins always seem to have the team that kind of falters in the playoffs, and it's not great for them. And we're going to have another division rivalry right here. I think this is exciting baseball at this point. So here's kind of the non-wild card round for me, and this is where we're going to get into. I'm going to come right back up to the San Diego versus the Dodgers route, and unfortunately for all those, I'll say the Dodgers win in 3, or not 3. They're going to win in 5. I'll give that score there. So I think the Dodgers are going to barely squeak by the Padres, similarly like they did to the Braves. It's going to be really close, but they're just going to fall off the cliff there just at the end. And it's going to be more interesting the more Tatis grows up and those young guys start to come up. So that's going to be fun to watch over the years. The big reason I have the Dodgers so high to start, and you'll see going forward, so that Trevor Bauer signing was just so huge for me. It made such a big difference. Mets, Cardinals. I like the Mets in this case. I'll give St. Louis a sympathy game because it's St. Louis and they always seem to find ways to win. Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch, right? Because you're thinking like this team's better, but they find a way to win, so I want to put them. But the Mets team right now, even with Carrasco going down, I think it's just too talented right now for me to ignore them. Coming down to the Yankees versus Blue Jays. This is where I can't really go against the Yankees too much here. So I'm gonna give Toronto a game, but I'm gonna stick with the top dogs here, the top seed. This is where it starts to get interesting for me. Chicago White Sox. I know the projected standings don't like them very much, but I do. And so I think that they're going to, I'll give Greinke his win when he pitches that game. Maybe Verlander's back, but I'll give him a game. And that's my final four. Some pretty heavy favorites, but also maybe not so much with Chicago. Jumping into the Dodgers versus the Mets. Let's go ahead, and this is now best of 7. So I do think the Dodgers are going back to the World Series. and that wouldn't be a 7, of course. That'd be a 4. And I think that the Mets will only take a couple games, and I don't think that'll be as close of a series as we're hoping. And I see the Dodgers going right back to the World Series. Now, down here, Yankees fans, I am making a bold prediction, and unfortunately, it's for the Chicago White Sox, and I don't think many people are going to agree with me here. But I think that the Yankees are going to take them down to the wire, and I think that Chicago is going to find a way. I love everything about them. Their youth, their starting pitching, I think, is deep. They got Liam Hendricks now to close out games, which I think is huge. I love their outfield. They still got Abreu, Tim Anderson, Madrigal's coming up, and so I like everything about this team, and I think they're highly underrated. If I was betting sports, which I tend not to bet the actual games, but if I was betting games, the White Sox would probably be somebody that I'm targeting here. So my final is actually going to be the Dodgers versus the White Sox, and unfortunately for, shock value, I'm not going to take the White Sox to win. In fact, I'm going to take the Dodgers to basically dominate in that series. I don't know what this is going to do when I actually submit it. It doesn't probably show, where are we going here? Either way, I got the Dodgers retaining again, and I didn't initially. I actually had the Dodgers losing to the Padres here, but once they signed Trevor Bauer, I think that just tipped the scale back again, and that, to me, that was such a big signing that I don't see any team stopping them. So this is my prediction for the World Series. Let me know where you think I got it wrong. I think Oakland's got a good chance to make that wild card game. I think the Angels have a good chance to win that wild card game. Philly should be in the mix. Milwaukee should be in the mix. The Cubs should be in the mix. So there's a lot of teams that I think are going to be in that mix that aren't here, unfortunately for them. And Tampa Bay, of course, where's Tampa Bay on all this? I think that they're going to dip. I think they're going to drop quite a bit this year. But hey, they made it to the World Series last year, so there's not really much reason to think that they can't now. Without the expanded playoffs, it's going to be a really, really tough road to make it there. So a few bold predictions in here, and ultimately not the most bold prediction in the end. So if you guys like what you saw, give me a sub, and we'll keep going with the content. Thanks, y'all.